Where did Justin.TV come in?
So when we were like super depressed and like trying to figure out how to extricate ourselves from our startup situation, I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is terrible. Like it was like me and Emmett, and then we had like one employee, and we'd just like sit around in this like super hot apartment in Boston trying to like program, and mostly just being distracted by doing other things because we weren't very excited or happy like working on this calendar. And so I was like, I want to get out of this industry. I don't know if it was an industry, but like out of working on this stuff.
Right.
And as soon as we sold it, we were like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Maybe we could like start something else. And we ended up we had this idea, actually, it wasn't for JustinTV, it was for kind of like an online publishing tool that would take your like blog and turn it into like a book, like a coffee table book, like print it. And we went over to Paul Graham's house again, Y Combinator founder, and said, hey, we have this idea, you write online a lot, like we have this idea, would you use it? And he was like, no, never use that. That sounds stupid. And so he was like, well, what other ideas do you have for startups? And I had this idea for JustinTV, like making our own, live stream about ourselves, just doing whatever. Had it for like about a month or two before, like we had sold the company, and then so I just kind of said, hey, I have this idea for this thing called JustinTV, and they started, him and Robert Morris is professor at MIT of computer science, who is one of the founders of Y Combinator, where they were kind of intrigued. They were like, sounds really crazy, but maybe it could be something.
Right.
So they funded us right there, and we walked out of there with a check for 50 grand and started working on JustinTV.
Wow. So what was the moment though that you thought of JustinTV? Did like something happen where you're just like, we have to do this, where it became like the idea that you had to pursue?
Well, it was when we thought of it, it was because we were trying to figure out how to sell the company, and we were having this discussion about like ideas of like how to do it, and we ended up, one of the ideas I had was like, hey, this is a pretty interesting conversation. Maybe we could do like a podcast or something, and that turned into this. It evolved from like just an audio feed to a video feed, and then that involved like a live video show 24/7. I don't know, that last jump was a little bit of a stretch, but
Right.
then we, it never really became the idea that we had to do until, we kind of pitched it and got funded for it.
But was it the primary pitch that day by any chance, or?
I mean, the primary pitch was, hey, this blog layout tool that, you could use, and nobody liked that, so then it became JustinTV.
So JustinTV takes off, and people start coming to you, and they want it to become a platform so that they can broadcast themselves. At what point do you realize like that is the direction that JustinTV should take?
Well, so we launched the show about 6 months later. We recruited 2 other friends of ours to be co-founders, and the 4 of us just kind of built this technology to stream live video, like from computer effectively, in a backpack with a camera attached to it, to like the internet, and then from the internet to like all these people watching, right? And that was kind of tricky. It was like 2007, this is before the iPhone. There was no GoPro. Like we had to like find all this stuff and put it together to make it work, and then build some software to do the streaming. It was very unreliable. And we built all of that, and then we like went live with this show, and the first thing that happened was, kind of got some traction because it was such a weird idea. And then people just started like pranking us like nonstop. Like they call the fire trucks would show up at our house, and like the police would show up at our house. Like it was pretty funny in retrospect, but not really at the time.
You might have been one of the first people to get, I guess, swatted on live stream.
Yeah, we got yeah, it was kind of like, why is this happening?
Right.
But then, the good thing was that all these other people showed up and were like, hey, you guys are like really bad at creating content, but I want to like make my own show. So like, how do I do it? How did you figure out this technology? And then, now today everyone's like, oh, that was such a great idea for like bootstrapping your platform. We actually did think we were entertaining enough to make our own show, which I guess real life proved us wrong. But luckily we were in the position where all these people who were entertaining came to us and said, hey, like I want to make my own live stream.
Right.
And then we pivoted into this platform for anyone to broadcast, and kind of spent the next couple of months working on that and launched it